Hey guys, I want to try a little more technical video this time and create a new obstacle from my Unreal Engine 5 indie ball game from start to finish together with you. Alright, so first let's get an idea of what it is that we want to build. It's gonna be a pillar with rotating sticks that can bounce back the player. It sounds fairly simple at first, but we will have to find out the correct angles for the knockback while they are actively rotating. At first I was thinking to only have the player bounce back upwards and never down into the ground. But later I found it was actually quite good in case I were to place the knockback sticks higher up and also catch the player jumping. Well, so far so good. After we got the plan, it's time to create the necessary models. I wanted the sticks to be attached to a normal stone pillar, but I guess I can also create other fitting models later if I wanted to. I wanted the stone blocks of the pillar to be on the top and on the bottom, so I mirrored the model and adjusted the custom collision meshes I had. It's useful in Unreal Engine to improve the performance by using custom box, sphere and convex meshes where possible. To get a reference of how the player would interact with it, I added a small sphere of the size of the ball to my scene. Now for the rotating attachments to the pillar. So I inset this little spot here and duplicated some faces inside to get a half circle, since I want to add at least 2 beams, one to each side. And maybe even add the option to have 4. Add a little stick and adjust the length so it looks good. And now for the bouncy cover thing. I have no idea what the correct word for this would be. Well, duplicate the stick and scale it up on the Y and Z axis. Add a bevel to get some more edges, since it looked kinda too blocky for my taste. And circle them using loop tools to space them out evenly. Another bevel at the caps, that should do it for now. Next I played around with a few colors to find something that looks nice. I decided to go with a wooden stick base and a red-orange bouncy cover. And now it's already time to export the models and bring them all to Unreal Engine. Here we can see the imported custom collision for the pillar and make sure the bouncy thing also has a decent collision mesh. Looks good. So now it's time to create the blueprint actor for the collision logic to push back the player ball on contact. For that I bring in the base stick and the bounce cover as 2 separate objects. I disable the collision on the stick since we won't be needing that. And make sure the bouncy thing is set to only overlap dynamic objects, like our ball. Now it's time to build the actual logic. First, we make sure our logic only runs if we collide with the player ball. We can do that with a cast, which is usually very cheap, but can come with a lot of extra baggage if done wrong. I did cast to a pawn here first, but I will need to change this to a player ball later. But since we only cast to our player, and the player is basically always loaded in memory anyway, we won't need to worry. Since I want the knockback to only be basically 2D from the object and not 3D, like towards and away from the stone pillar, we will have to do some math here. What we can do is to get the local relationship between our object and the ball using the inverse transform location node and plug in our transform and the ball's location. Then we make a new vector without the X component that we want to throw away to flatten the sphere to a circle. And at this point I rebuilt the vector using a transform location, but that was actually wrong here. You'll see in a moment. Then normalize the result so we get a vector with the length of 1. This is useful so when we multiply the direction with our bounce force, it will always result in the same force. Like say if the directional vector was not normalized and had a length of 1.5 to begin with. We would bounce back 50% stronger and it could be different with every overlapping contact. Then we need to apply the force to the player ball. And this is where I needed to cast to the player ball instead of the pawn, because the object to apply the force to does just exist in the player ball. Now, here it turns out using the transform location again was wrong, and we only bounce back in the unrotated direction. To solve this, I went with the untransformed vector and just rotated it by the actor yaw rotation. Basically, it's rotating around the Z-up axis. And the basic thing was working as expected now. But we can add some effects to it to give the player some additional feedback. Always add at least some sounds, and even better something visual. So I will first play a sound at the actor location and then at a timeline to scale the bouncy cover up and down. And for safety, when the timeline finishes, I reset the scale to 1 again. I accidentally connected the timeline node through play when it should be play from the beginning, so it always starts, well, at the beginning. Okay, so it's something, but I feel like it's not enough yet. So I made a new material that supports an emissive color and strength value. Let's go with a yellow glow for now, but leave the strength at 0, since it shouldn't glow normally. I add a new curve to the timeline for the emissive strength and plug that into a set scalar parameter on materials node for the bouncy mesh object. Okay, let's have a look. And nice, it's working! The final step is the rotation. I already have a rotating object blueprint to attach any other objects I like to. Now I just put the rotating beams as a child to the rotator actor and put that as a child to the pillar object. Reset the location and let's see. Alright, looks nice! And the knockback also seems to be working correctly even when it's rotating. Now we can play around with the placement. Duplicate, add 4 sticks to one pillar, move them up and down. So, these are the basics to how I would build an obstacle like this, step by step from my game. But I think I will be reworking the design a little more. So for this I created a very basic texture mask with the primary colors I can replace in a shader with everything I want. Here I'm using the red and the green color, so I can replace the red and green colors separately in the material. And yeah, I think it looks a little nicer now. What do you think? Hope you enjoyed this somewhat more technical deep dive video. Let me know if you would like to see more videos like this one or not in the comments. But I gotta be careful not to spend more time making videos than actually working on the game. Anyway, hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye!